MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by The Importance of Skin.
What is a UFO? In the 1950s, the term was created as an acronym from Unidentified Flying Object. It indicates a mysterious object seen in the sky for which no orthodox scientific explanation can be found. This is a UFO. This is a UFO. This is Jean Reno. This is a UFO. This is Pierre Cosso. This is Brigitte Bardot. Now you know what a UFO is. We hope you're happy.
MaJaMa.
Awesome.
Oh, you speak English? What's your name?
I'm Alex. I'm a sparkling. Oh, who are you?
I'm Meego from the planet Marmadan 4.0.
Start.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. And it's me, Jay.
You're not in frame.
It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here with us, guys. This is another installment of MaJaMa Scraps, the place underneath the table where the little scraps fell from the meal, the little pieces of gristle and bone that maybe aren't a full movie and maybe don't facilitate a full jam,
Why you so
but
angry,
we
man?
still want to get into them.
I want to live under the table.
Now today, we have a little bit of MaJaMa lore. You know, we always try to bring elements of our now coming up on 16-year friendship into the show, put them out onto these cameras for you.
Yeah, okay, dude.
Now there is one show that has been mentioned consistently as I go through life as a friend, close personal friend of Matteo Molinari, and that show is the 1990 pilot Meego,
I'm Meego. Meego from Marmadan 4.0.
starring Bronson, Balky, Pinchot, Jonathan, Jerry Maguire, Dipnicki, Joseph, Christmas Every Day, Mazzuto, Ed Begley, Floor Cleaner Jr., and of course the incomparable Michelle Harriet the Spy Trachtenberg. So we've got some royalty in here.
When did you mention this?
Mateo has mentioned it every day of our friendship. Now, Mateo, why do you consistently bring up Meego?
Dude, you wouldn't understand.
Because it's one of the first, since it's 97, I moved here in 96, and all television was new for me to a degree, because I was just like trying to watch everything, and CBS tried this Friday block party or something.
Welcome to the CBS Friday Night Block Party. 4 great shows: Family Matters, Meego, Gregory Hines, and Step by Step.
Is this guy for real?
No.
What a party!
Dad, sometimes you are so strange.
You won't find laughs like this anywhere else.
I'm joining the party!
And,
Wait, did you see it live on television?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I remember saying, Meego, this extraterrestrial. And of course, since I am older than dirt, my mind went to think of Mork and Mindy.
No.
Which is
As did mine.
epitome of Alien on Earth sitcom.
This is the second time Bronson Pinchot is playing an alien.
When was the first one?
Cousin Balky.
Perfect Strangers.
America, land of my dreams, home of the Whopper.
He was an immigrant.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh.
But I thought he was an.
You thought Perfect Strangers was about an alien?
I always confuse it with Mork and Mindy because of the other guy's hair.
Interesting. Larry Applegate.
And Mindy. Pam Dauber.
I thought of Mork and Mindy. I thought of Alf.
Interesting concept.
And I even thought a little bit of Latka Gravis.
Thank you very much.
Because of the way that Bronson Pinchot is made to play into an accent.
I would have never, I know the name Bronson Pinchot, whatever
Bronson
it is.
Pinchot?
If you had told, my mind was blown. I realized who it was.
Okie dokie.
I thought it was Ricardo Montalban type, suave.
His greatest character ever is in Beverly Hills Cop.
Danae, one moment. Don't run and tell me, Summers, that Mr. Ahmed Foley is here to see...
Axel Foley. Axel.
Achwell.
Axel.
Foley is here to see her. These are all the acquaintances. Donnie, this is cover this up. It's like the breast of a dog to scrub for the customer.
Who's Balfour?
Eric Balfour.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
No, not Sharktopus, but one of the sharks. Shark.
He's actually the, I think he's the son of Eric Bal 3. So...
What's the creature's name from Never
hold
Ending
on.
Story?
From what?
The white snake dog.
Balfour.
Balfour.
Yeah.
I'm a luck dragon. My name is Falcor.
Well, Mateo, you didn't finish, so...
Yeah, so I was watching eagerly every single new sitcom because it was new. And also because a lot of sitcoms didn't make it across the ocean. Some of them did and didn't work, like Seinfeld.
Media tacchino con chili.
Media con crema di granchi.
Non vedo il pane.
Lascia perdere, fregatene.
Mi scusi, credo si sia dimenticato il pane.
Pane, altri $2.
$2? Ma l'ha avuto gratis quello davanti a me.
Lo vuole il pane?
Sì, per favore.
$3.
Come?
Niente zuppa per lei.
2 episodes in Italy. Then they say, sorry. We just say, take it away. Whereas Friends went spectacularly. So I watched Meego, and I could not believe it. I said, wait, this is sold as a sitcom? It doesn't have a sit and it doesn't have com, pretty much.
Although thinking about 97, it does seem like the era when, like, let's cram some sort of, not supernatural, but some other element into a classic sitcom.
Well, and plus it was a Friday evening where traditionally they were saying at the time that the audience were really low in general because people were still going to the movies because the movies were coming out on Friday. So they didn't put too much.
And they're probably trying to beat TGIF for ABC,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And in fact, I put my tie for one of the greatest sitcoms ever made, I Love Lucy, which is the first time I wear this tie. How do I know that it's the first time that I wear this tie?
Price tag?
Yep. Still has the price tag.
Man, it's a day of price tags. This is off the classic Bernardo
little movie memorabilia.
It was the
red
jacket
shirt
that Jason Kaufman wore in the opening of the 50th episode.
But in black and white.
Yes.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Also found this stuck to the Quella's ear. Coincidence?
Yes.
I guess, yeah.
Here is my controversial opinion to kick off this episode.
So anyways, I watched that movie and it sucked. That movie, that sitcom, and it sucked.
This one?
Meego.
Yes.
While I don't necessarily think it's good, I don't think it's miles away from other fare.
No way.
I don't think it's necessarily jaw-droppingly, what the hell is this? I do think it's an appropriately zany, weird failure that we should dissect. But if you think about like we said,
Same thing said about you.
The pedigree behind this, Joel Zwick, famous name from a million Full House episodes, and Miller Boyett, the company that launched 1,000 successful sitcoms. It's not devoid of the same. I mean, look, we started out, we have a path of Full House enjoyment.
You got it, dude.
I think at first we were like, look, it's the ultimate cheesy sitcom. We'll put it on ironically. We like, we like the cool, edgy comedy, so we'll watch Full House as a joke. And then eventually it's like, no, we just like it. But of course it still has the stigma of being the lowest common denominator. No, that's how it was for me.
You were 10.
So I don't see this as being wildly outside of normal sitcom goofiness, cringe,
Okie dokie.
unbelievability, corny forced lines. There's a lot to pick apart that we can have fun with, but my hot take, if you will, is that I don't see it as astronomically outside of the other sitcom fodder.
Who are you?
I'm Meego from the planet MaJaMa 4.0.
Yeah, and I'm Batman.
Nice to meet you, Batman. Anyway,
MaJaMa. Thanks, Meego.
You are welcome, Alex. And you are welcome, too. Now, we have to have a little talk about your breath. My breath? I am not the one who drinks out of the toilet. All right, I had one little tiny...
The thing that I find it mind-blowing is that they have, like for instance, going back to Mork and Mindy, for instance, or even Alf.
Alf.
They are learning the way of life on Earth, or how you behave on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Here, Meego arrives and he solves the problem of the kid, solves the problem of the big brother, as if he were a citizen of Earth all his life.
That's a good starting point, because I did notice, and you could either say this as a negative or a positive, I suppose, but man, we get into it quick.
Yeah, whatever.
Within like a minute and a half, we're like, I'm a dad who needs a babysitter. Look at this one. The kids are going to like her. She's out. I go outside. I'm looking at this girl because I'm kind of a teenage perv. Spaceship came down. Oh my God, could you be our guy? Well, I don't know if I can stay. Yes, I can. Daddy's here. He's helping us with our problems. He actually helped everybody. Now I can't, like, we just plow through it. Like, I think within a minute and 30, we have established these kids need a babysitter. They don't like the one that's currently there. An alien came down. They want him to be it.
Yeah! I mean, no.
So it obviously does feel rushed, but at the same time, if we're talking about, hey, I'm a TV exec, and can we get to the hook? My God, they move fast.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. But because they had to go to the special effects, because that was the only reason why he was an alien. Yeah. So they could do some CGI, which started to become available.
Yeah, there's nothing really alien about his character.
No, that's the thing. He says
he could have been like a goofy Mary Poppins that's like, I just blew in from the agency and I'm a little wacky in the air.
He's got that funny accent, though.
He has a funny accent. He's 9,000 years old, and he is from the planet Blob, whatever it is.
I'm Meego from the planet MaJaMa 4.0. I'm only 9,000 years old.
9,000 years old?
9250 in May.
And that's it in terms of...
you know what? I could really see hating Mork and Mindy.
You?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should try to bring up more stuff that's genuinely accepted as people love this, and then have Matthew be like, "This is terrible."
Why me?
Like
Why
we
me?
should do
Why
the
me?
we should do the Blues Brothers, because it'd be interesting to do an episode
we're gonna do the Apple one day, no matter what. We're gonna do the Apple.
Yes, but I'm just saying that the Blues Brothers, it would be a great example where I feel like the normal path would be like Mateo introduces us to his beloved classic, we fall in love with it, but Matthew's like, no, you know what? Actually, this doesn't work at all. I hate this. I think that'd be interesting routes to take. Matthew hates iconic stuff.
But
I don't think I...
Hashtag Matthew hates iconic stuff. That's the new name of the show.
If we're doing Mork and Mindy, I will look for an episode in Italian. The reason being,
I won't be able to understand it.
Yes, no, we won't. I mean, we're gonna watch the one in English. But the thing is that, except for the pilot, the Mork and Mindy has an obnoxious laugh track. The other episodes were shot in front of a live audience.
Mindy!
Oh, Mork!
Hi, other person.
Mork, I want you to meet my good friend Rainbow. Rainbow, this is Mork.
Oh, and double it. Nanu, nanu.
And the audience started to become so...
Enraged?
No, so in love with Robin Williams. And sometimes he would improvise, and the laughter of Pam Dauber and the other actors are genuine because they didn't know that he would have done that. So there was a spontaneous applause, during which they would just stay there waiting for the applause to subside and then go on. When they dubbed it in Italian, no laugh track. So he would arrive and say, and I did this! And then they would stay 20 seconds in complete silence, just looking at each other.
How is that not a glaring...
Fantastic.
Oh, there's something missing from this scene.
That one...
Stop this episode right now. Put on that clip, and
How
we're
is
going to
that not
start
just
a
an obvious
Scraps
there's
on
something
that
missing?
phenomenon.
Bussa, bussa!
Non dire che là è l'inizio di una barzelletta tremenda. Entrez-vous!
Salve!
It's absurd. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Mork and Mindy, they were all dubbed with no audio, with no laugh track. The first sitcom in Italy with the laugh track was The Jeffersons.
Why did they...
What's wrong?
I have no idea, but imagine that, you know.
Questo ragazzo, Chucky, ha una specie di dinosauro per cugino che non gli fa lasciare il lavoro. Ci crederesti?
No, non ci crederei, è solo una domanda. Chi è questo Dino?
No, dinosauro, un antidiluviano. Grosso e scemo. Un grosso animalone preistorico con un cervello da gallina. Sei tu il cugino di Chucky.
Fonzie arrives and say, hey! And then, yeah, exactly.
Isn't that immoral?
Isn't that immoral?
The question I pose to you guys is this.
Yes.
This is a very goofball, kind of failed sitcom, but I was kind of watching it thinking, if you're going to critique this, it's not one of the better ones, but if you're
Is
going
that what we're doing?
If you're going to critique this, I feel like it almost speaks to the yes, it's kind of goofy and eye-rolling.
But it's on fire!
But if we were to criticize it for that, especially when Mateo told me Miller Boyett, who has a massive pedigree of iconic sitcoms, I feel like it kind of speaks to sitcoms in general. Sitcoms are a much maligned medium of entertainment, yet it's almost like that double-edged blade of the show you mock for being so cliche by the book is the biggest hit. For instance, I was genuinely surprised at how long the Mike O'Malley of the immortal Guts on Nickelodeon led sitcom Yes Dear, how long that was on. I remember I had a moment, it was like, watch new Yes Dear this Tuesday. I was like, what? That is still going? And I think the reason is exactly the same reason that someone could criticize Yes Dear. And granted, I say this having modicum of information about the actual show. But I feel like if someone was to be like, I'm going to criticize Yes Dear, the same critique, the same sword they welded would be the same reason why it has consistent enough ratings to last for 9 seasons, if even under the radar.
Get over it.
So...
Or like Last Man Standing with Tim Allen.
Exactly the same thing. Although I think in that one, audiences were happy to return to a comfort food of sitcom with the stalwart nature of Tim Allen.
But it was, again, I think Friday evening, and I think that went on for 8th season or something, completely ignored by me.
So here's what I think is happening. When I recently saw the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I went into with an open heart, wanting to have a very good family-laced time at the movie. Family-laced? Family-friendly time at the movie. I was very disappointed by the writing.
Okay. Guess you're not getting my army.
So that, here's the interesting thing about movies, Mateo, is that we all know, there's a book on your shelf back here called The Hero's Journey, which one might say breaks down how every single movie's plot is essentially the same formula. What's so interesting about the medium is when it's done right, you either don't notice the beats or you're happy they're there. Oh my God, our two characters had a fight. I hope they're going to get back together. They did. We know they will, but when it's done right, you like the act. When it's done wrong, everything seems just weird and unearned and glaringly obvious. Like when I saw the Mario Brothers movie and it gets to the point where they're reunited and he's like, all we need is each other, bro, and we can take on anything. That's supposed to be like, man, we've been on this long journey and we learned the power of the brothers together. When I watched Mario, it just seemed like, oh yeah, and movies like this have a reconciliation, so nothing's really happened, but he gets back together and he says, hey bro, the power of us is... It felt unearned, and it felt like I could literally see the paint-by-number mechanics of it. So I think that would be my main critique of Meego, is it's absurd how quickly we get to everything. It seems as if a season's worth of like, oh my God, Meego, you can stay. I understand it's a pilot. They're trying to quickly establish everything. Everything's like, he's an alien. He can be a babysitter. The dad's okay with it. He's left home alone. Like you said, problem solved, problem solved, problem solved. Oh my God, you are here.
Special effects.
The special effects. And, okay, you actually can stay and you're going to be with us, and just, boo, everything just barrels ahead. So I think my biggest critique, and yes, we can break down some stuff like the hilarious, I taught you about teamwork, but I really just threatened your life leaving you standing there. We're going to get into that.
Don't get me involved.
I think my biggest critique would be that the sitcom beats feel unearned and therefore that much more exacerbated in their effect of the classic sitcom goofiness.
Okie dokie.
MaJaMa. That was close.
Trip, why did you tell the large male with yellow hair that I'm from Canada?
Well, have you ever seen E.T.?
No.
Okay, well, it's a movie about a cute alien who gets stranded on Earth, and the kids want to keep him, but the adults want to cut open his head and look at his brains.
Okay, I'm from Canada. I got it.
One of the things that I think it doesn't help is the fact that the editing is terrible, because there are sometimes it's just like close-up of Jonathan Lipnicki laughing for no reason.
Yeah, they do. They
He's
go to a
probably
lot
just
of
too
those.
damn cute.
Okie dokie, Meego.
Okie dokie, Alex.
Is this pre or post McGuire?
Just post.
That makes why I
Yes.
feel like they're like, do that again. Do that again. Say the thing. I didn't do it.
Do that again.
Do that.
And also probably...
Who that?
Also probably because they were just like, there were a lot of interruptions and redo this and redo that. Plus, the fact that you have to stop for the special effects shot, it breaks the continuity and the movement of one scene, and it
feels like a 90s family movie. I mean, I know it is a 90s family sitcom, but it feels very much like a
it
house
looks
guest
again like
type.
a pitch for a movie.
Yes. Well, I guess if you
20
think
minutes.
about how Family Matters evolved into Steve Urkel turning into Stefan and all the insane. Like remember the one episode where they shrink down. Him and Carl shrink down to size. They're trapped in the kitchen. My favorite scene is when they're sleeping on. They decide to make a bed out of a piece of bread. And then they use marshmallows as pillows, and they use a slice of cheese as a blanket. And then they're drooling as they sleep, and the marshmallow sticks to Carl's face.
I can't get comfy.
Well, Steve, you have a marshmallow for a pillow. Isn't that comfy enough?
Yeah, but when I drool on it, it sticks to my face.
Good night, Steve.
And it's awesome.
I don't remember that. It's amazing.
It's all kind of like when soap operas go into like crazy, like, oh, she's possessed by a demon.
And my twin is alive and came back from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So I get that at this point you probably had to go that direction, and I think that's why at this point in time they were like, let's throw an alien in the mix. But I think it's just too much, too fast, and there's no real like he doesn't teach anyone like a lesson.
Well, let's talk about the friendship lesson.
He doesn't learn. I mean, he just arrived, learned. Oops.
Alexa, stop.
So I'd like to talk about the friendship lesson.
Just shut up.
Yeah.
No, shut up.
What I was saying. Oh, sorry.
Everyone, just stop.
No, we're done.
What I was saying is that it's weird how he is an alien. He arrives.
It is weird.
He arrives on Earth, and he says,
"Oh, you speak English?"
Fine. But then pretty much he knows everything. He knows already how the kid was wrong during basketball.
Now, the thing you did wrong is you didn't hit the open man! Hit the open man! You need to learn teamwork.
He teaches him the lesson by floating him out of his window and doesn't go
It's
anywhere.
not really a lesson about teamwork. I mean, he's trying to make a metaphor.
Hold on, I want to highlight because it's. So we have a MaJaMa Jams alumni on this. I was very happy to hear. Our favorite made-for-TV holiday movie, Christmas Every Day. The star Stephen McGillis, Danny Mikitano. What was it, Matteo?
Eric Von
Dutton
or something like that.
Eric Von Dutton, the iconic star of Christmas Every Day, is our teenage son.
Go to sleep, Sarah.
Say you wish it was Christmas every day.
No, it's stupid.
Say you wish it was Christmas every day.
Fine, and will you go to sleep?
Yes.
Fine. I wish you were Christmas every day.
Who is being kind of a ball hog in his basketball game. So Matthew, in order to teach him about teamwork, what does Meego do? He everyone knows that. Keep passing the Italians. What does he do to teach him a lesson? In teamwork.
He tells him to go up to his room and open the window and then...
My job is to catch you. Your job is to fly.
No way.
Okie dokie.
Ah! Hey!
Okay, now you're flying. Now, this is where the teamwork kicks in. Now, you see, if I catch you because I'm a good team player, then that's a good thing. But if, on the other hand, I'm just thinking about myself and just playing my own game, doing my own thing, then you, my friend, are up Grasnock Canal without a skedaddle paddle.
So he rips him out of the... he telekinetically...
Oops, accidentally ripped your skin off. Sorry, I was confused with powers.
Rips him out of the room and starts floating him over the hard concrete driveway. And he's like, okay, so if I was on your team and I was distracted by worrying just about myself, I could drop you and fall down. Like, that's not really how a team would...
Isn't that how basketball practice goes?
Work in terms of how he's trying to make a metaphor of it. But he's pretty much just scaring this kid to death. Like, oh, I'm going to drop you in the concrete, have your organs splatter all over inside your body. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll play as a team, I'll play as a team.
And then he leaves him
floating.
And that's the end of the episode, the segment.
Yeah.
I don't really need your help, dude.
Oh, well, in that case, later, dude.
Okay, teamwork, I get it. Come on, Meego!
Yeah, I think all his blood drains to the front of his head and he passes out.
Wait, how does he help the daughter?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. She doesn't have a problem.
She doesn't have a problem.
She's a smarty
fine.
pants.
And
wait till she gets her first period, though.
Yes. In class.
Yes.
Okay.
Stop being a baby and grow up. That's what you call tough love.
Maggie, I want you to know that it's okay to show people your tender side.
That was my tender side.
And then he helps the dog of the kid.
How does shrinking down to a size of a...
I was really disappointed. I was like, at least have him turn into a dog. That gag went nowhere.
You see him transform into a bunch of like a sumo wrestler and an alien.
It's just like, ooh, look what we can do.
The transformation, albeit clearly stuck in the 90s, is not without its goofy charms. And even though this is because my heart, as I get older, is just turning into absolute mush for anything involving dogs, so I have to say that as a disclaimer. The bit with the dog worked for me. That's only because I have an absolute, pathetically hypersensitive, mushy heart for anything dog related.
Well, you also have
I like the Barkley bit.
Adorable Jonathan Lipnicki laughing and playing with a cute.
He is pretty friggin' adorable.
He's that dog.
Yeah. Jonathan Lipnicki in this moment is one of those rare examples where if they're like, "Hey kid, you're here because you're cute," mug for the camera, you're like, "You know, I actually don't mind. That kid is freaking cute. Yeah, he's got his smile."
Barkley.
Can we see him side by side with the green boy from Ghoulies?
Yes.
When Jonathan Lipnicki smiles with those little...
That ball-headed boy?
Yeah. Jagged teeth.
He looks just like that boy.
TBHB?
TBHB?
That
he was also in
I really love him.
OT? That ball-headed boy over there?
In a commercial for mayonnaise.
When was the last time you really tasted what Hellman's mayonnaise does to a sandwich?
How long is it going to be?
Almost done?
In a minute.
Lunch isn't a race. Why eat and run? Take the time to taste the Hellman.
And he was in the movie Little Vampire.
Oh, I remember.
No, I think it's just a little vampire.
What happened to him? He went the Jake Lloyd route?
Whoa.
Probably. Apparently he's jacked. He's just like...
Yes, I remember that. The human head weighs 8 pounds, and now my cock weighs 20. Was his official quote when it came out.
What? Jonathan Lipnicki said that?
Something like that, in Jerry Maguire.
What?
Jerry O'Guire.
Yes.
Hi, lass. It's me, Jerry O'Guire. A timeless tale of...
Jonathan Lip Nichols was in... Lick Nipples. Was in Stuart Little, right?
Jonathan Lick Nipples.
He was in the Stuart Little, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
His name is Jonathan Lick Nipples. So...
Wait, what's the real name? Lipnicki?
Lipnicki.
Hop in.
Wow. A roadster.
Go ahead, check it out.
Jonathan, is that just the last name, or are you down for doing that? Because the part's not going to get itself.
And then there is...
Can you get my mom?
Dad, can you come here and help me?
MaJaMa. Here, Barkley. You're going to school with me.
Lipnicki has an adorable dog that... Actually, you know what? I did not like the Devil May Care way they talked about that poodle getting plastered by a goddamn beer truck.
That's why I said poodle.
Why does Alex take the dog everywhere?
He's worried because the neighbor's dog ran away last week and got squished by a beer truck.
They're like, yeah, man, that dog just got squashed by a beer truck. Why are you worried your dog might die? And then I felt genuinely sad when he walked in and he was holding
It's a
Barkley in his
stereotypical
lap.
throwaway dog, you know?
Barkley was cute.
Barkley was cute as hell.
Yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm a sparkling. Oh.
Little chubby little pack.
Why did he have to shrink to talk to him? It's so stupid.
Yes.
Like, turn it into a dog or something.
Yeah, I was expecting...
Or just bark and speak, dog.
Yeah, because then he barks. He just goes small, becomes small, and barks.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Because this is we're talking about, give respect where respect is due. We're talking about one of the most iconic, successful sitcom
I'm gonna throw up
character actors in history. What year did, and maybe you don't know this, what year did Perfect Strangers end? And I'm trying to wonder in relation to this. This was clearly, I want to say early 90s and had a decent
They
run
both
with
occurred at
Perfect
some time,
Strangers?
man. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Well, my question is, was he like fresh off...
You asked your question! That's it!
Was he fresh off Perfect Strangers when this happened, looking for his number 2, you know?
No, I think that there were...
Definitely found some number 2.
Yes, he came out as number 2. I'm sure that, yes, there was at least a couple of years. I don't know exactly.
Bronson Pinchot.
Yes.
That's how you say it?
Bronson Pinchot.
Pinch it.
And then...
Punch it.
It's the other white meat.
One of the things that I always hate, no matter how well it's done, and in this case it's not done well, in a sitcom where the father is literally a surgeon, and yet he is an idiot.
I have got to get to the hospital, okay?
Dad, aren't you going to interview him? I mean, for all we know, this guy could be the man in the moon.
Trust me, I am not the man in the moon. He's a small, angry man with 12 eyes.
That is funny.
It's something that why do they have to do the parents? And also, if you do the parent like this, don't make him a surgeon, because it is offensive to me.
Well, then again, I hear a lot of doctors are weird. I think you got to shut off part of your brain in order for that part to work like that.
Probably.
He's creating a
Kind of like how
for
musicians could be amazing at what they do, but then you try to get them to shower and get to a place on time to pay a bill, and it's like trying to get a toddler to do something.
Yes.
Idiot savant type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be weird being a
Doubtful,
doctor.
but okay.
They say they develop a god complex.
That's only for your good doctor, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard to get Mateo to admit you can excuse someone's behavior because they're talented. but in fairness, he's probably had to deal with too many people like that in real life.
I guess it depends how much you bring them. Like if you had a hero of yours come into your daily, everyday life and live with you or leech onto you, you feel very different about them. But if they're off in the distance,
I do wonder what it would be like to actually talk to Andy Kaufman if he'd just be like, okay, I'm like, can you even look me in the eye? I'm like, oh wait, that's what I like you for. I guess keep being weird.
Don't ever meet anyone. Ever.
In general.
Yeah.
The fact that somebody's talented doesn't allow him or her to be a jerk.
They get one murder.
Well, I guess it's
one goat strangling.
One goat strangling.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just funny when you have
somewhere.
my particular interests, and it's like, hey man, isn't it cool how these figures were always allowed to have this outside the box behavior? And then it's like, no, it's not. That causes problems. It's not going to work like that in real life. And I'm like, oh, that was the only aspect that interests me. That's why I studied Jim Morrison for 20 years. Like, well, guess what? That's not going to work in the real world. I'm like, oh, that's sad and scary. What do? You expect to go to a job and then you actually act like it's a grocery store? Like, yeah, no matter who you are, you got to have the same tenets of respect everywhere. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not interested in the world then. That guy got up on stage and grabbed his cock and people thought it was cool because he was a rock star. That's what I'm interested in. I guess that's
but when you are on a stage is one thing. That doesn't need that you have to transfer.
Yeah, you know, the bleeding over into is what I fetishize, which I guess is the same reason why I bring up the lack of angry music is interesting because of how it personally relates to me. But if we go down that avenue, we'll be here all night.
I guess it
Please
appeals
don't.
to me in the sense that it would be nice to live like that, where you're really that cut off, so you're just kind of in your own, like as much as I say I'm in my own head, I'm constantly worried about how other people perceive me, how I'm coming off, and just, even if I'm not even doing anything about it, I'm just constantly worried about it. So it'd be nice to kind of just have that complete shut off where it's just like you think you're the shit and you live your life that way.
It is really nice.
Yeah, I've stopped worried what other people think about me a long time ago. Because I don't think much about me to begin with. So I was saying, okay, fine. I try not to insult anybody or to just like be overly aggressive or something.
Well,
and
it's
a viral platform where you do it weekly.
I think, and this is completely off Meego topic, but it's just funny to me the synchronicity of the brothers on the couch here. But then I'm like, hey, I also have a part of me where I'm MCS and I'm gonna grab my cock and say I'm the shit and mean it. You guys down? And both of you are like, never in a million years, not with a gun to my head. This guy right here and this guy right here would literally slit the throat of everyone that means someone to them before they would ever act genuinely cocky in a way that I from time to time enjoy. And that dichotomy of the MaJaMa versus the other side of me is just interesting to me, but probably not anyone else. And right now, Mateo's thinking, stop going on this run and then get back to Meego. So Bronson, pinch it.
I've been thinking about it, and this is where I belong.
Is
Meego.
And he only has powers to transform into a sumo wrestler. Because on the planet Marganon 40, every once in a while you need to turn into an overweight Asian man just to get privilege in the front of the line, is the joke he said in the thing.
Works on Earth too?
See, it's a sitcom that has no memorable nothing.
We should say we watched the pilot, so I am curious to say where it goes. You said that they aired 6 here, pulled the plug, but overseas they actually got the full 13 classic season?
Yeah.
And you watched most that aired, or all?
I only saw the 6 that were on television.
Where does it go? Is it pretty much this just repeated? With
it's pretty much, yes.
Hey, the kids have problems, the alien helps.
Yeah.
It's the same episode 6 times?
Yes. And in every single episode, they pause because he has to do, like there is an episode where he says, can you teach me to do bubble? And Jonathan Nicky thinks with a chewing gum, but Bronson Pinchot blows his head up, and so they had to do the special effects with CGI and stuff just because to justify that he's an alien. Because otherwise, there is nothing. Even at the end, I'll bring you to your sister, and they levitate.
More creepy than anything.
Yes, exactly.
Like stealing a child from the window, like Janusz.
Think about good reference. Think about My Mother the Car. We were kind of
classic. Now now you're talking about great sitcoms.
Well, I was gonna say we were kind of like, we can't believe this exists. Let's watch a couple episodes. It's done charmingly. So my point kind of was, it's all in how you wield the tools of the trade. Because if you tell me there's a sitcom named Meego where an alien comes down and helps a family deal with their problems in the way a nanny would, and then you tell me there's a sitcom called My Mother the Car where the spirit of a dead mother is in a car that gives the guy advice on his patriarchal role.
That's what it's about?
There's not really a lot of difference other than in the execution where Mother the Car ended up kind of being like a surprisingly charming traditional thing about family where he happens to have a back and forth
The
with his
episode
mother
where they
in
sleep in the car is
The
cozy
episode
as
where they
hell.
sleep in the car is cozy as all hell.
Gee, Mommy, this is fun. This sure is neat. Wait till I tell Bobby Whipple that we all slept in the garage.
Randy, don't you dare. Dave the lights.
Yeah.
Now everybody go to sleep. It's late.
Oh, you jerk!
What did you say, Daddy?
Never mind.
But there really is
Even
a
the dog gets in on
difference. And this is what I'm saying about Full House.
They did 2 seasons of
Yep.
My Mother the Car.
We can talk about the legacy of Full House, and we can talk about our own
You can
personal
talk, you can
journey
talk, you can talk.
of whether we liked
Oh,
it
you talk.
ironically or not. But
Erotically.
it's much maligned. It's got a stigma to a certain type of people. Full House is the most trite,
But I
base
think
level
it's a
garbage.
sitcom stigma, not Full House stigma.
You got it, dude.
Well, you're kind of saying my point. Like Full House is considered pedigree.
Of course.
Like what's a classic American sitcom?
Full House.
But if you look at Joel Zwick directed this too, there's not a lot of differences. Full House is excessively goofy, unrealistic, quickly rushing to the point.
It does have a pace and a rhythm. This one doesn't. This one is completely flat line.
It seems like everything was so crammed and fast.
Yes, it's too fast.
I mean, I get that for a pilot. Maybe we'll have to watch the next one to see if this trend continues.
No. I mean, eventually.
We'll get back to the other episodes in about 6 months, just like Tommy Wiseau's Neighbors. We're going to space it out.
Yes.
Dude, that's totally awesome.
But that's the thing. It doesn't have the rhythm of a sitcom. Every scene is clunky, is a thud. There is no there's no rhythm. There is no joviality of a classic sitcom.
Hello, Alex. I'm here for food. I was on my way home after vacationing at Two Bunch Moons when my vehicle, the Biga 2001 LX with the gold package, ran into a sudden meteor shower, causing my power modulation unit to burst into flames.
You scared?
No, scared. Marmazonians are taught to suppress emotions like fear.
Plus, they're also accepting of his powers or him just being
Oh yeah,
alien
they
in
accept
general.
that real quick. And then, as Mateo might point out, a lack of consistency. Why did they accept it so quick? And then the only reason is because it's a trope we immediately go to. But you know what we got to do? We can't let Dad know. We accepted your existence as an alien in 0.5 seconds, and it's been internalized. But
mention the ET reference afterwards,
Yes.
so they do explain it that way. And then the alien concept, keeping him a secret from adults is a well-worn.
I think
trope.
you talked once about the difference between It Chapter 1 and 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the fact that you lose a little bit of that charm of the classic, where kids and the adults do. And if it wasn't that, I feel like you said this about something else. There was, or maybe it was Terror Vision. Where you said once the parents knew about it and you didn't have the kids hiding it aspect, it kind of lost some of the oomph for you. I think that's what it was. I think it was Terror Vision. And you talked about how much more fun it was when you had the classic trope of like, we got to hide it from mom and dad. So it is an incredibly classic trope. And one might say, well, there is Alf. If you want to say, what would it be like if the dad also was immediately in on the alien's existence? That would be Alf.
I'm not sure I can fix your spaceship. I mean, not tonight, not in the dark.
Yeah, you could use a light in that driveway.
You know, I've been meaning to put one out there, but you know how it is. You get busy with one thing and another.
Willie!
Oh, I'm sorry. I just seem so human.
Hey, there's no need for name calling.
Why can't Alf go back home?
Yeah, why can't Alf go back home?
Why can't Alf? I don't remember. I barely saw it.
Like this one, his spaceship crashes. He's on his way back from vacation. A part breaks, and then he gets it fixed within a day. He says he needs to be back for his aunt's birthday, and then it's like, oh, I'm just gonna stay.
Yeah.
So you don't really have anyone like, hey, you're stuck here, you're in
Yeah.
dire straits.
Yeah, there is no
you're relying on this
urgency,
family.
there is no nothing.
Yeah,
There
like
is-
you're using them as much as they're using you. You guys are learning to lean on each other.
Because at least in Mork and Mindy, the arc was that he was sent to Earth to study Earth, and then at the end of every episode, he had to.
Oh, that's interesting.
To do a sort of a report to Orson, what he has learned. Orson was his intelligence, the one who sent him from.
Does the egg ship appear in every episode?
In the opening credit of every episode, because it was the opening credit was him saying Nanu Nanu, and he would fly
That
to Earth.
seems annoying as
Matthew's not going to like it at all. In fact, he's not even going to see
I like the
spark.
idea of studying and also having to give bookending every episode with having to give a report.
Isn't it
on what
interesting
you
when
learned.
Matthew doesn't care about classic stuff? I want to explore that more, you know? Like, he's not going to like Mork and Mindy. He's not
I
going to
bet
like
you
an
like
old Dan
2
Aykroyd movie.
things.
He's not going to like the Blues Brothers. He's not going to like Animal House. He's not going to like, he's certainly not going to like a Harold Lloyd movie. He's not going to like...
He laughed at Laurel and Hardy.
Let me know so I write this down.
You definitely don't like those Dan Aykroyd movies.
Definitely.
Dan Aykroyd is not Bronson Pinchot, but.
Okie dokie, Earth boy.
Sometimes you would think it would be more me, but sometimes Matthew's like, I have to put a line up. There's a corniness here.
I wouldn't say the line drawn has anything to do with corniness. I love.
Well, for instance, one time I was like, and it really, really, really made me laugh a lot. I was like, hey, Matt, and perhaps I was asking with a comedic tone, yes, but I was like, hey, did you hear what Nick Cannon said about Eminem? And you were so genuine, like, Jesus, who cares? And it was really funny to me, but also I cared about it. Like, I was interested in the Nick Cannon Eminem beef, as I always would be.
What did he say?
So sometimes it's because you don't care about the celebrities, so you're like, well, I like the movie, but I don't care about the story of how, Dan Aykroyd wrote it. Who gives a crap? That's you.
Sometimes I care.
And you're like, you know what? You're gonna want to put your message in your art. You don't go up there on a soapbox and you don't start screaming about people. What you do is you put your message in your art.
Well, a lot of this is your fault. You've ruined a lot of aspects of life for me over the years.
Because you would be like me if I wasn't me?
No, I'm just around you way too much.
Oh.
You've destroyed everything I could possibly hold sacred.
You don't like, it's like, oh, well, let's like explore what this painter did this. Isn't it cool that he was an artist and slept on the floor? And you're like, I don't care, man. All right, it's not interesting. I just want to look at his painting and then I want to do my, and stop telling everyone your opinion. I'll put it in an Awesome Time episode and then that's it.
Now check this out. Okay, well, please join us on October 15th. 15th for our Halloween special entitled The Legend of the Barf Bag Boogeyman. Sure to be a night of Jack,
You're not going to catch Matthew Ellsworth talking about his opinions, all right? Why do you do that, Jason? I put it in the art, and if they want to discover it, it's there. That's you.
I just don't like to talk. I don't like the general spirit of conversation.
And yet here you are.
Whose fault is that?
Mateo's.
Yeah. Sorry.
I guess it was your inception.
I would be curious to see where this goes.
What?
Because
the sitcom?
Meego?
Oh, Meego.
Because we do set it up for our classic. I mean, look, you see the formula. We start off, they're at the breakfast table. Now I got a big test at school. Meego's like, maybe you'll be distracted by this. He unzips, it's on the
memory
table.
serves, most of the time.
That's going to help Meego?
Help me.
It takes place in the house. I don't remember, but I'm sure that there are some scenes where they go outside of the house, but most of the time I think it takes place in the house. That was also one thing that it was, to me, a little off-putting, but I'm just like talking about something that I saw 15 years ago or something, so I'm not 100% sure about it.
Dad, what are you doing here?
I live here.
But I have this memory of just like being always there, and you say, really, can't you just like go at least to a neighbor or something like that?
So were you, when you watched this premiere night, credits roll, a young, fresh to America Mateo sitting there, and you're thinking...
Did you clap?
the first thing that I thought it was, I've been here for 1 year. Maybe my English comprehension is not as fluid as I was thinking it was. So I might have missed.
Man, I was way off.
Yes. Really.
That can't actually be.
That was the thing. And I remember.
It's like a language barrier going on here, right?
Because one of the things that I was doing back then, it was I would tape the sitcoms that I liked and then rewatch them with the closed captioning on. So I would hear a line, and if there was a word that I didn't understand, because since there were not yet DVDs with all the subtitles, it would allow me to look at a line, sometimes pause, searching on a dictionary if I didn't know that word, or learning, oh, that's how you construct that kind of sentence. And so I did a tape Meego for that block party, because it was, I think that...
What followed it? Do you remember?
I honestly don't remember.
I'd be interested to see.
And I think that the day that it debuted, there were 4 new sitcoms coming out.
Oh, like it was. So they were competing with TGIF probably, which was like the block.
I think so. And so I would say, oh, maybe if I'm lucky, there is a sitcom that I like. I see it from the actual first episode, because when I got here, of course, Home Improvement had already started.
You get to see the genesis.
Exactly.
And like you get to see the Super Nintendo.
And I will resurrect the. And so I watch it again the next day with the closed captioning, and I say, "Oh no! It was."
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh man! Oh no! Oh God!
Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God!
So yeah, that was my unfettered.
Well, Ed Begley makes for a charming sitcom father beyond any qualms about his intelligence.
I'm glad you can stay, but won't your family miss you?
Oh, well, they travel a lot. Sometimes we go centuries without speaking to each other.
Yeah, I have a sister in Cleveland, same thing.
Yes, that's.
Is the mom dead? Is that what this is? That's why they need a nanny?
I think so. Yes.
Man, dead parents. They've really fueled Disney movies and sitcoms.
Yes.
Dead parents, man. Disney's some
or
sick...
single parent.
Yeah.
It's usually the.
It's always funny when they're struggling.
Yes.
Especially with a death.
I say if you want to make peanut butter, you gotta bust a few nuts.
Well, Ms. Scrotenborer, you're certainly different from all the other nannies we've had. But I work long hours, and my kids are alone a lot. So they could probably use a little more discipline. You're hired.
Dave Barry. That's what I was talking about. Dave Barry is the perfect example. Matthew cannot put up with the corniness. Where Mateo would be like, yeah, Dave Barry's pretty funny. And then I'd be like, you know what? I'm enough of an open-minded softy that I'll genuinely chuckle at a Dave Barry line or two. But Matthew would be like, what is this? This is for old, middle-aged people.
What did Dave Barry do?
He makes a bunch of humorous books.
He wrote a lot of books.
Just books, though.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying, is that you look at that and you have a genuine sense of cringe that a 60-year-old white man is putting out homespun, wholesome, gee, ain't life funny books that people like Mom can pick up and think it's a hoot. And it's not that I don't get that, but there's a part of me where I can pick up and be like, well, that's kind of an amusing line because I want to be generous and study comedy in its entire spectrum, where Matthew would draw a line and be like, it's corny, and I'm going to spit out genuine disdain over it.
I said none of this.
But it's accurate, right?
No. I have not read a Dave Barry line.
Why don't you read a Dave Barry book and tell me if everything I said is not dead on?
I mean,
you don't. I know you, man.
I can give you a Dave Barry book.
You have a Dave Barry book?
Yes. Yes, I do.
What did
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but you're being very.
You prefer Nora Ephron?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you imagine Matthew dancing? It would kill him.
I've danced before.
Even if, like, when Mateo danced for the Bernardo show, he brought the zeal of 1,000 suns. And I'm not saying, you know, spook hand job, you brought out an entertainer switch when you were doing the intro for the Bernardo show.
Yeah, but what
and
he was
bring?
The Zen of 1,000.
The zeal.
The zeal.
The zeal of 1,000 suns is the name of a Nora Ephron novel. I connected that in for you.
Oh, sorry.
you, even though you have the ability to have the performer switch, it's mind-blowing to imagine you dancing like Mateo did for the intro of the Bernardo show. And I feel like if someone asked me to sum up my brother without doing my usual rant, I'd be like, okay, how do I do it quickly encapsulated? Matthew would never dance. And they'd be able to get a lot from that about you. You know what I mean?
He's on a wheelchair.
That was great. That's not going to be topped. Oh my God, that was fantastic.
My brother used drugs to get high and drive to the beach. Now I have to drive him. He's in a wheelchair.
MaJaMa. Here, I saved your pancake.
Thank you.
Oh, you can't make it. No, don't worry about it.
Try it with syrup.
In fact,
Is there anything we didn't cover about the Meego pilot?
Nope, I've been thoroughly destroyed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you this, but we forgot an aspect of Scraps in the previous episode. We didn't say our favorite line from Chutzpah.
How could you possibly discern
But
any...
we are going to do it here.
Yes.
I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, I don't remember the lines. It's okay. You're going to do the best you can. Mateo, who introduced this to us, what's Mateo's favorite line from Meego?
Nice to meet you, Batman. Anyway,
Okay. It's not. It's well-worn territory, but that kind of always works.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and I'm so and so. Literally taking you at face
Yes.
value. Hello, so and so. Oh, I'm so hungry. Hi, Mr. Hungry. Can I
Yes,
call you so?
exact.
Matthew.
I like when the dog bumps his nose into
Oh, yeah.
Balky's face.
Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot.
yeah, I'm going to tell him all that. Tell him the whole thing.
Yes, I liked
Pigeon.
Bronson's pigeon. I liked.
You like when Jonathan Lipnicki was actually having sex with a dog on,
Yes.
on the floor.
You know, the dogs. What was the line from the dog scene? I don't know. I like the dog scene, but I'm just a sap. When he cut to him sitting there sad with the dog on his lap, and he was like, "I'm worried he might go," and everyone's like, "No one cares. Like, be a man." I was like, "Oh, God, dude, he's just afraid of his dog."
That's just Michelle Trachtenberg. She's a little uncaring older sister, snotty little girl.
What was it? Harriet the Spy and not all
the
that.
Amanda Show.
No. Yes. Well, her and Amanda Bynes.
She was
my
a
God.
titular character.
All white people really do look alike.
In Amanda Bynes? In Amanda Show.
She was Amanda. Harriet the Spy and Pete and Pete. She was a love interest of younger Pete.
Okay, that's probably...
So how were you able to get the Amanda Show? You know what's funny? All I had to do was get barefoot and take a video of me stomping cottage cheese in a kiddie pool and send it to Dan Schneider, and he said that was enough. I don't know why. I feel like there was a line like "Hello, Batman" where I was like, okay, that actually kind of works. I forget what it was, though.
You're remembering wrong.
Well, I like Barkley. Well, guys, that was a Scraps on the long-awaited Meego. The long-mentioned, the lore of the MaJaMa friendship.
I got a text yesterday
Meego.
about it, and that's pretty much as far as it goes back from me.
Meego. But you know what, guys? It can't all be about Meego. Sometimes it has to be about you go. As in, you go to the comments section and leave one for us to let us know you're here. Leave a thumbs up for that flawless verbal wordplay going into the promotion of
you
the
were talking
comments.
about the car, Yugo.
Is that a car?
Yes.
There's also a Pokemon ripoff called Yu-Gi-Oh! No, Digimon. VR Troopers.
Can I go?
Beetleborgs. Thanks for being with us here on MaJaMa Scraps. We're going to be back with the rest of Meego in about 7 months from now. We're going to be back with the rest of Tommy Wiseau's Neighbors in about 8 months.
Which, by the way, Meego is available on YouTube so far.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and watch it, guys. Tell us what you think about Jonathan Dick Licky. Jonathan Lick Nipples. Jonathan Dick Nipples.
Oh, Johnny Lick Nipples.
Boss, I got the problem solved. I'd like to introduce to you your star of your new show, Jonathan Dick Nipples.
I don't like Jonathan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, that's a scrap.
So.
MaJaMa.